Hey everyone, Scar the Scottman. We're here to do a drive video today. We're going to be heading west on 11 Mile Road, and at least the majority of the road. It's like it's pretty continuous going all the way toward like Southfield and Farmington Hills. There is a gap over by like Telegraph Rd or US 24, which will go around that gap. But then once you get west of Farmington Hills, it's just random gaps. So I'm probably not going to film out in that area, but basically from here all the way out to like Southfield and Farmington Hills. So we're starting over where 11 Mile begins or ends, right at Lake St. Clair. And we're going to be heading west towards Southfield and Farmington today. More on that after this traffic light. And I just realized I forgot to turn on my external battery, so not battery, but microphone. So let's change that. I'm still getting used to this external microphone with the action camera here. But so we're starting off here in St. Clair Shores, and yeah, not too long ago I filmed the video going east on 10 Mile. I had to go east just because there is a part of westbound 10 Mile that's closed, and there's a bigger gap over by I-75 that I didn't want to have to deal with, so I drove east on that instead. So it's like now we're going back to the west, like how I do my other Mile Road videos here in Metro Detroit. So 11 Mile here is pretty much right here in the heart of St. Clair Shores. In fact, I believe the Civic Center was back over at Jefferson, and we're over here at Harper. So over here, yeah, 11 Mile is primarily serving like residential neighborhoods, although you do have a high school coming up here on the left. You can see the football field over there. It's pretty cool how, yeah, all the homes are well off the road to the right, so it got some decent sized front yards. And then you got the high school over there, Lakeview High School, over to the left there. So coming about another mile from now, this is eventually going to get up to where 696 is. Just crossing over Little Mac here. And Jefferson Middle School off to the right there. They have to go down Rockwood to get to that, though. Yeah, it's a pretty nice day out today. Pretty much clear skies, and the car thermometer is reading 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Convert that to Celsius, it's around like 23 degrees. So a very nice day for early June. Like pretty much what we're supposed to see at this time of the year. And yeah, right now we're approaching the interchange with I-94. Oh, we'll keep this going. The light just turned green. So if you make a right turn here, that'll take you to eastbound 94 to get up toward like Mount Clemens and Chesterfield Township, Port Huron, all the way up that way. And of course up to Canada, across the Blue Water Bridge. And then you got the ramp here to go west on I-94, which will take you toward Detroit. And we are now entering the city of Roseville. And so right now we are in the middle of the I-94, I-696 interchange. Because from here, pretty much all the way till east of DeQuinder Road, 11 Mile now serves as the service drive for 696. So take that ramp to the left, that'll get you onto I-696. Where you stand this, and this remains 11 Miles. So the other side of 11 Mile, like eastbound 11 Miles, over on the other side of the freeway. Because again, as I was just saying, this is like a service drive. So like if you're driving on I-696, which at some point once the construction is all done over in the Royal Oak and Southfield area, which probably won't be till 2026, I'll need to re-film that because it'll be brand new pavement. It'll be really, really nice. And of course, you have to deal with on-ramps or off-ramps too from 696. And we should be good. I do need to get over this lane becomes the right turn lane. So there was a Costco over there. So we're here at the light for Gratiot, and this is National Coney Island, one of the popular Coney Island chains around Metro Detroit. So yeah, Gratiot can get pretty busy just because there are all kinds of activity going on Gratiot, especially if you go northeast toward Mount Clemens. And of course, periodically we'll see on-ramps for 696. So with 11 Mile being a service drive along 696 in different areas, it primarily serves for like residential neighborhoods like the one off to the right, or even some of the smaller side streets, which of course 696 bypasses altogether. So because I'm always been usually on 696, unless I am getting on or off the freeway, I am never driving this. In fact, most people usually don't drive this. The only time they do is if there's like a big accident on the freeway and this is used as like a detour. Club 11 great food. They must have great food in there. The only way to find out is to go in and eat there. But yeah, I'm definitely not hungry right now because I just had lunch. I was down at Eastern Market today. I went to Mitso's Greek food or Mitso's down in Eastern Market down in Detroit, and they have amazing gyros, by the way. It's like their traditional gyro, for what I've heard, is supposed to be exactly what you get in Greece. So it's like if you can get the real thing, it's like it's totally worth it. And I think we're approaching Groesbeck Highway, and I think the second light's Groesbeck. The first light I think is Hayes. Yep. Hayes Road is another interesting road where there's a lot of gaps in it. So it's probably a road I don't know if I would film or not. I'd have to take a look on the map to see if I would film Hayes Road as its own video. I'd have to look into that one, but I'm not sure. And we're going to make a right turn at Hayes. It ends at Groesbeck Highway. And speaking of Groesbeck Highway, this is it right here, or M97. As a matter of fact, I thought I was going to be mentioning about something else when I was stopped at that light, but I completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh well. Yeah, the traffic's getting a little bit more busy because one interesting thing is after Groesbeck Highway, there is no on-ramp for Groesbeck Highway, or I'm sorry, for 696. It's on the other side of this traffic light. Yeah, now I'm getting really unlucky with the traffic lights. Pretty much just stopping at everything now. Or, hold on. Yeah, to stop because, yeah, they're taking their sweet time. But yeah, the interesting thing is that it's like the exit ramp from 696 for Groesbeck Highway. This is also for Shaner Road, which is the next larger road that we're going to be coming up to. Oh, now I remember. After crossing over Hayes Road back there, we're out of Roseville. We're now in Warren. And of course, Warren is one of the largest suburbs in Metro Detroit. And here is Shaner Road, and guess what? Another traffic light. Just cross over Shaner, and of course Shaner Road heading north eventually heads up toward where Lakeside Mall used to be. But of course that up there's still a whole bunch of shopping and a lot of restaurants once you go up toward Hall Road. But yeah, thanks to the freeway, this is not heavily traveled. So it does make things a little bit nicer. You don't have to deal with as much traffic as, let's say, if we were on the freeway. And yeah, I see another on-ramp, or off-ramp. I keep getting them mixed up today. Off-ramp from 696. This time it's for people driving on 696. This is the exit for Hoover Road and Van Dyke, or M53. And of course, the first traffic light up ahead is Hoover, excuse me. Van Dyke's the next one after these lights. Okay, it's like, yeah, having a hard time seeing cars to the left of me. But thankfully there was a nice enough gap. Except this is Hoover Road here, which, matter of fact, I filmed a video on that, or I think it was earlier this year. And if there's the on-ramp for 696 for Hoover and Shaner Road, and looks like it's the first Saturday of the month, so I mean, they're testing the tornado sirens. Yeah, because usually the first Saturday of the month, especially here in Macomb County, they test the tornado sirens. It's like even being inside a car, there could be pretty noisy. So also today, it's like, yeah, before of course, doing this video, I was an Easter market, of course, had Greek food at Mitso's, and then earlier in the day, I had to get my oil changed. I hadn't had one in a while in this car, so I got service at the Honda dealer, so everything is good to go. Had to get a filter replacement too because it was getting really, really dirty, so I needed a new one. So this we can keep this car rolling for more road trips. Oh, looks like they have another exit for Van Dyke. So the one back there was just for Hoover Road. But yeah, what is interesting is that if you're driving west on 696, this is the exit for Van Dyke, but also for Ryan Road, which is not for another 2 miles to the west of here. But it's because with Mountain Road up ahead, another mile from now, it's a special interchange for Mountain Road, so it's not really practical to get to Ryan Road from the next exit off 696. And we got a green light and immediately another red light. And what's not going to be fun is we got a truck who wants to make a right turn, and I am stuck here because there's cars all over the lane. Oh, I can get over now. All right, got lucky there. So right here, this is Van Dyke, or M53. That is a very busy highway. And then technically right over here at Van Dyke, we're in Centerline, which is a city within a city, because it's basically completely surrounded by Warren. Man, it's like I'm catching every traffic light, even these really small ones today. Oh, I guess to be fair, it's for something up ahead too. But still, it's like I'm not catching a break. So right here, for a short bit, 11 Mile temporarily moves away from 696. Because of the interchange it has with Mountain Road, 696 curves a little bit to the south and has its own interchange way off to the left. So 11 Mile temporarily just becomes just a normal road here. Especially with the intersection up ahead with, or even here like at the intersection with Mountain Road. And wow, finally a green light. Except this is Mountain Road over here. It's not really the easiest thing in the world to get onto Mountain Road to get to the freeway. At least for what I could see. It's like, yeah, even though there's no freeway in the middle here at this part of 11 Mile, it's still pretty wide. But to be fair, though, we're about to rejoin 696 here because the eastbound lanes are going back over that way. And this is where 696 comes back to the north to run right along 11 Mile. But it's nice that for the people who live in the subdivision off to the right, they got a big sound wall here, so that way it can filter out all the sounds from 11 Mile technically, but more so 696 because the traffic's a lot louder on the freeway. Although they don't really have a sound wall or sound barrier here. And here's the traffic light for Ryan Road. So here's where Ryan Road is. See, Ryan Road is just another one of the smaller roads and mostly serves like residential neighborhoods, but it's a nice little road to take to go north and south through Warren without having to get onto DeQuinder, which is a little busier. And over here we have an off-ramp from 696, and it's technically just for 11 Mile. Because what happens here is that... I'm going to have to wait a moment because I got a car getting off the freeway. Okay, we're good. So we have a fork in the road here. So if you take the left fork, that'll continue as the service drive for 696. But if you go to the right, this is now 11 Mile. So 11 Mile is now breaking off from 696. So this is where 11 Mile just becomes a normal mile road. I should probably get over. Wouldn't surprise me if people are going to be making a right turn on DeQuinder. Which, of course, is what this traffic light is. And yep, I was right. At least one person's going to be making a right turn. Actually, 3 people are. And cross over DeQuinder Road, we are now entering Oakland County, just got out of Macomb County. We're also now in the city of Madison Heights. And we got quite a bit of traffic here on 11 Mile right now. Oh, that's why, because the right lane's closed for lawn care, but thankfully it's very short. But yep, this is Madison Heights. It's compared to its neighbors like Royal Oak and Warren, it's a lot smaller. not only in population, but also area. But nevertheless, there's still different things going on in here, like even have a high school. We got Madison High School off to the right. Oh, got frozen custard there. Definitely a good day for something like that. Frozen custard, frozen yogurt, or just good old ice cream or gelato. Because as we gotten away from Lake St. Clair, it's gotten a lot warmer. Because my car thermometer is now reading 79 degrees Fahrenheit, or like 26 degrees Celsius. So it's like, yeah, the lakes can really cool things down. And yeah, unfortunately did not make the slide at all for John R. Yeah, that light definitely lasted quite a long time. So yeah, Telway Hamburgers at the intersection there. And of course, John R., there's all kinds of different businesses and different restaurants up and down that road, especially as you head north up toward where Oakland Mall is located. But yeah, even here on 11 Mile, there are some different businesses like Cottage and Pizza. Looks like an auto shop there. Selena's Bar and Grill. Oh, okay. Thought I had to get around that van, but it was able to turn just in time. And here's the interchange with I-75. I need to go over into this lane because that lane is to go south on 75. And wow, I'm getting lucky with this traffic light here. Even for the freeway, or technically Stevenson Highway, because it serves as like the service drive over here for 75. Of course, I-75 north heads up toward like the Troy, Bloomfield, Auburn Hills area, and eventually north toward Flint. I-75 south, of course, heads down to Detroit. And after crossing over I-75 and Stevenson Highway, we are now in Royal Oak. Royal Oak is a really nice suburb, and there's always a lot going on in Royal Oak. In fact, we'll be going right into downtown Royal Oak along 11 Mile. We have Campbell Road over here, which is just a smaller secondary road going north and south, just mainly serving like residential areas. All right, now I need to get over. Yeah, all kinds of different businesses, some restaurants, even like Subway. So a lot of activity going on in here. Yeah, Royal Oak is quite a nice place to hang out. There's all kinds of bars, restaurants, lots of nightlife as well too. Of course, you got the Comedy Castle. You got a performing arts theater. So it's just a great place to hang out. The main stretch of downtown Royal Oak is along Main Street, not 11 Mile, but 11 Mile still goes into downtown. And you got the farmer's market for Royal Oak off to the left inside that building. Looks like it's currently active. I don't think it is open for the whole day, though, if I'm not mistaken. I've got a big parking garage off to the left. And here we are. This is Main Street. So this is where the main business district for downtown Royal Oak is located. Another parking garage off to the left on the other side of the post office there. And we'll have to stop here at Washington Avenue. And here you got the rail line that which Amtrak uses, because there's an Amtrak station just south of here. And what is nice is that along 11 Mile does not have a direct railroad cross. It goes underneath it, so it makes it really nice when the trains come through. It's not just Amtrak that comes in or along those railroad tracks. There's other trains which go through there as well too. So it's nice that they have that underpass or overpass for the railroad. And then we got the YMCA for Royal Oak off to the right. And yeah, I thought we were gonna get lucky with getting a green light here at Woodward, but of course it's a driving video, so we have to stop at red lights. That's the only traffic lights we run into in these videos. And we're crossing over Woodward Avenue. Matter of fact, I even filmed a video on going north on Woodward, going from downtown Detroit all the way to downtown Pontiac. All right, so we are now in Berkeley off to the right. On the left, that's Huntington Woods. So yeah, but anyway, so Huntington Woods is on our left, and then Berkeley is on the right. 11 Mile, however, does not go into downtown Berkeley. That would be up at 12 Mile, which is the next mile road north. But yeah, both Huntington Woods and Berkeley, yeah, they have quite nice homes in the area. But it is interesting, once you get west of Woodward, how much 11 Mile becomes more residential compared to going the opposite direction where we're going through like Royal Oak. And yeah, I didn't point this out when we were back at Woodward, but right now we're only like a mile to the northwest of the Detroit Zoo, because it's down along by Woodward Avenue and 10 Mile, which is basically where 696 currently is. So over here, 696 is running along with 10 Mile. And looks like not only we have road work up ahead, but we also have to stop at this traffic light here for Coolidge. So a double whammy. So crossing over Coolidge, and technically now, yeah, Berkeley's still on the right, but on the left is now Oak Park. So if you go south on Coolidge, it's like the dividing line between Huntington Woods and Oak Park. And yep, here's the road work, but it's pretty short. So yeah, not a big deal at all. Looks like they put in some new concrete on the sidewalk over there. And that caution tape was nice enough to tag me just back there. So that means I'm it. Some different businesses along here on 11 Mile. Over by the water tower for Oak Park. All right, so we are now approaching the traffic light for Greenfield. And yeah, if we have to stop, it won't be for too long. But still long enough that we're going to have to pause the video. So crossing over Greenfield Road, we are now entering Southfield. So what I'm going to do is I will probably need to get over to the right lane here. So over here, 11 Mile is now once again dividing up into two pieces because it is once again joining with 696. So starting over here, 11 Mile once again, and I'm gonna have to get over because we got a UPS truck pulled over there delivering a package. So now 11 Mile is the service drive for 696 again. Oh, it looks like this time we have to stop instead of yield. I'm sure a lot of people probably just yield when there's nobody coming, but my luck, if I were to try to do that, there would be a cop sitting here or something. It's like, no, you have to stop. I'm going to give you a ticket because you didn't. And yeah, it doesn't look like it, but right now, down at 696, they're doing heavy road construction. They have the eastbound lanes currently closed until the end of 2026 because they're resurfacing this part of 696. But they're not doing anything here on 11 Mile or the service drive. So this is Southfield Road here. If you go a couple miles to the south on Southfield Road, that'll turn into the Southfield Freeway. And then also right here, you can get onto 696. Because unlike the eastbound lanes, which are currently closed until the end of 2026, the westbound lanes are still open. Now I forgot to point out too is that around the intersection of 11 Mile and Southfield Road, and right here, we're in the city of Lathrup Village, which is a city surrounded by Southfield. So it's another city within a city. And then now we're back in the Southfield again. This time I think we can safely get over to this lane. Because unlike the light at Southfield Road, the light for Evergreen is going to be a lot quieter. And yeah, we'll have to stop once again. But thankfully, stop and then go. Because there's nobody getting off the freeway. All right, and here's the traffic light for Evergreen Road. Go another mile south of here, you get down to where Lawrence Tech University is located. And then the main Civic Center for Southfield is another like half mile to the south on Evergreen. And when you're driving on 11 Mile going west, this is probably your last easy chance to get onto 696. Because otherwise, you'll pretty much will have to wait till you're all the way over at Telegraph Road in order to get onto the freeway. And that can get a little bit more congested compared to back there. Yeah, it looks like they are doing work on some of the turnarounds over here, so it's not complete. 11 Mile is not completely void of the construction, but so now 11 Mile now breaks away a little bit from 696 and it becomes just a regular road again. Because 696 heads just a little bit to the south, but not by much. And yay, green light. Unless it decides to troll me by only having a 7-second long green light. Thankfully, that's not the case. So if this is Lathrup Road here, so here's an interesting part of 11 Mile. So once you get to this traffic light up ahead, that is the temporary end of 11 Mile because it turns into Northwestern Highway, which goes along like the Lodge Freeway, and 11 Mile resumes on the other side of the freeway and the other side of Telegraph Road. So this is a gap in 11 Mile. So this is the end of the main portion of 11 Mile over here at Bell Road. However, there is a stretch of 11 Mile west of Telegraph I would like to film in for this video. So I am going to continue the video and film the next stretch of 11 Mile. But then once we get to the end of the next part of 11 Mile, that'll pretty much be it for the video. Because it's just a lot of different gaps in the road going all the way west toward like the South Line area. It's not really too worth filming those areas or those stretches of 11 Mile. So off to the left, that's the Lodge Freeway. And from that, that's, you got access for Telegraph Road for north and south, and then you can also get on to 696 from there. That's traffic, of course, coming, well, from Detroit on the Lodge Freeway, going, of course, out towards 696 and out to like the northwest suburbs. So what's going to happen is that this little stretch here, Northwestern Highway, which is, of course, is the connector to the main part of 11 Mile. So this road ends up here at Telegraph Road. So 11 Mile resumes at the intersection of like Franklin Road, just immediately west of Telegraph Road. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film, because I'm not going to stop the video. I'm going to keep filming, but I'm going to basically do like a little time lapse or like sped up footage and get over to where 11 Mile resumes. See, over here, we're over here at the Tel 12 area. Oh wow, getting lucky with this traffic light. All right, so I'll see you where 11 Mile resumes. Welcome back. I got really lucky with the traffic lights getting over here. So we're over at the intersection of 11 Mile and Franklin. So this is where 11 Mile resumes. Technically, there's a small stretch going east of that roundabout, which again is Franklin Road, but doesn't really go much to anything. So figure don't need to film that stretch, but we still have like a good few miles or so left to film in this video because this stretch is still significant enough. Got a nice big cemetery off to the left, and there's different office buildings on our right. But yeah, it's like when I was trying to bridge that gap during the time-lapse portion, I'm surprised I got lucky with all those traffic lights, especially to get on the Telegraph. So let's just say I was not expecting that at all. Yep, all kinds of office buildings off to the right there. Ooh, that squirrel looked determined to cross there, but thankfully he got smart and was like, nope, I see that blue car coming. And off to the left, that's the news station for CBS for the Detroit area. So yeah, Southfield has a lot of the different local stations like CBS, and I think Fox is here as well too. And I think even for like ABC here in Detroit, or NBC I think is in Detroit. Yeah, not a lot going on in this area. It's pretty much 11 Mile Road here is pretty quiet. And crossing over Inkster Road, we are now in Farmington Hills. And yeah, for this video, we only have 3 more miles to go because this road, well, 11 Mile Road officially ends at Farmington Road. But as I was saying, there's other stretches of 11 Mile. Like there's a mile-long stretch between Halstead and Drake Road, which is just like for residential areas. And then there's a couple of 11 Mile Road portions in Novi. One like right by like 12 Oaks Mall area. And then there's also a stretch going from like east of Taft Road in Novi going to like Wixom Road, which is only like 2 or 3 miles long, nothing too significant. And then there's another portion out near South Lyon. So it's like, it's be really difficult to film those stretches of 11 miles. So I'm not really worried about covering those. I'm just covering 11 Mile in the heart of Metro Detroit. And I've got a Little Caesars and a Kroger off to the left. And we're crossing over Middle Belt. It is amazing how quiet 11 Mile Road is here compared to how it was back over in Royal Oak, where it was a lot busier. Or heck, even when it was the service drive for 696 over in Warren. So after I get done filming this video, I'm going to be heading over to Northfield. I'm planning to do a walking tour. It's like for my main videos that I post every Monday, I've been mainly focusing on cultural awareness related stuff with all my different travels, going to different places where I've of course been to like Houston, to Miami, Mexico City, and also Phoenix, and then just recently Philadelphia. But every once in a while, I always like to film some content here in Michigan. So I figured might as well do that. And then later in the day, I eventually have to be meet up with family because my older sister just had her birthday yesterday in real time. So we're celebrating her birthday today. So we'll be doing that later today. So yeah, I'd say like pretty much an action-packed day today. And here is Orchard Lake Road. I think they're about to stop. Yep, so I'll just keep this going, just turn green. Oh, we have the main like civic center for Farmington Hills. Got like the city hall, you got the police station. Oh, this is some nice new concrete here. And then looks like even some newer asphalt. Thought I saw something in the road. Yeah, pretty much other than, like, even the parts I'm not filming, like, with the exception of the area right by, like, 12 Oaks Mall, this is what 11 Mile generally kind of looks like the rest of all the different stretches. It's all, like, residential neighborhoods, pretty much. So the road itself continues past Farmington Road up ahead. However, it does not go really much, if anywhere, because they have like either the Rouge River or a branch of the Rouge River, basically dividing the gap in between the stretches of 11 mile. But the next stretch is not all that big or anything. So again, for this 11 mile road video, I'm just filming the main stretch here in Metro Detroit. So we have gone west at 11 mile road from where it begins at Lake St. Clair near Jefferson, all the way to Farmington Road here in Farmington Hills, Michigan. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on any future adventures. Well, thank you for watching, and this is Scott, or the Scott Man, signing out.